Hi, babies. Did it go? Hey, babies, it's Mother Love, the even more fabulous. And with me today is Mr. Robert Ferguson. This cat is just off the chain. He is a world-renowned nutritionist, and he fights for our better health every single day. This is okay. My side froze up again. Let me see you talk, Robert.
1, 2.
Okay, my face is the one that's frozen. It'll come back in, so we'll just go with what we have. It's not us. It's a technical glitch in the program somewhere. But nonetheless, it is always good to hear to talk to you about health and nutrition and keeping us well, especially in our communities. And that's what I appreciate a lot about what you do, because we need to know, our people in our communities, in brown and the black community, need to understand what good nutrition is, what good health is, and that you can take control. They would say, oh, I'm a stress eater. Oh, I'm a this. That's because you choose to be. And I didn't find out that till I found out I was a stress eater. And I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm glad. And that was no way to live. Oh, and let me just share this bonus tip with everybody that you gave me. And it was really simple. The way you tell us in what order to eat the food in on the plate, that has worked tremendously. I'm telling you. And I thought I was doing, everything I could. And now I even got my husband and my grandkids eating in order. So tell them how important eating in order is. Because that's just, and it was such a simple thing. Oh, and the fact that you recommend we use lard as a fat, that blew me away. But let's talk about this first, the order that you eat.
Well, I wouldn't say that everyone should eat their foods in an order. However, if you want to maximize your blood sugar response, it's better to eat the protein or the vegetable first. So if you had the protein first, let's say it's chicken or steak or tofu, whatever the protein source is, then follow that with your slow carb veggie, what I call slow carbs, like broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts.
I eat all of those, all of that.
And then finish with your starchier foods, like your rice, your pasta, your bread. And you do significantly see a reduction in what your blood sugar response is after you eat in that order compared to if you ate the rice first. They also know that if you ate the rice first, you're more likely to still be hungry.
Because the carbs aren't breaking down and you don't have enough nutrition, or it doesn't have enough nutritional value.
I believe it ties more into what the insulin response would be. So the more insulin you have circulating in your body, and you're going to get more of that the further you get from nature, or if it's a food high in starch, you'll get more insulin secreting. And when insulin is secreting in the body, which is a hormone, you start to crave more things. You're hungrier. You're not satisfied.
And on top of all that, you get irritable. I was really irritable, and I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky chick, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And one day I'm gonna come out of my shell. I'm gonna come out of my shell, and then you guys could really know the real mother for you. I'm lying through my teeth. Shut up, Mother Love. And it was just so fascinating to be able to eat like that and eat and watching my blood sugar numbers, and I watched them go down because I get up and my fasting sugar could be 134. If it gets to 150, my fasting sugar, I know I have done something wrong. So I do modify what it is that I'm eating. And I don't understand why people keep, especially people that got diabetes, say they don't want to eat diabetes food. Is there such a thing as diabetes food?
No. But I can see someone believing there's food that would be categorized as for diabetics. But no, all foods are available to all people. It's just a matter of like, how do you cook it? Right? And what do you eat with what you're eating?
And what you're cooking with. And
what you're cooking with.
When I was growing up, we had the grease can on the back of the stove where you put with the little strainer in it, and all the oil will go down, and it had a strainer in it, so they would get the cricky out and use that oil 11 times over. Excuse me. And I remember saying, isn't this too old? My mother said, put a potato in, just cut a piece of potato up and put it in the oil, let it cook in the oil. And I was like, and it got that clear. And that was just so fascinating. There's so many things that we have done that will warrant good health, but we kind of go overboard with the quantity. We kind of go overboard with the oversalting of the food. And then come to find out, the restaurants, when you go out, that's why we have the whole thing about monosodium glutamate. No more monosodium glutamate in the food. And they felt the need to put it up on the window. Why was that? I mean, I know what it is, monosodium glutamate. And they sell it like that. A big thing said MSG, monosodium glutamate. I don't understand what's the big whoop about it. And why do we need to stay away from that, especially MSG?
Well, I think there's a lot of negative understanding about salt by itself. I think it's more about what type of salt you're using, right?
But
Because if you got no, I mean you've seen like pink Himalayan salt.
Okay,
right?
I got it because it was pretty.
Okay, pretty, but it's less processed. You get all these other minerals. I mean, upwards to about 82 minerals with the salt. And I also believe that there's a big part of the whole salt hypothesis, as far as it pertains to blood pressure, that is not accurate. Like I've asked doctors for over 20 years now, clinicians, etc., can you show me any proof that eating salt causes high blood pressure?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh yeah, and
No, you
until
didn't.
this day,
You have not got it.
No, because there's no clear-cut evidence that supports that.
That salt causes high blood pressure.
Yeah.
So we just been hoodwinked and bamboozled about that.
I believe so. I believe so. A lot of my clients that have high blood pressure, I actually encourage them to use salt. And every time we see their numbers come down.
Really? I said, I don't cook salt. There's so many herbs and there are too many different herbs to have to find the need to use salt. Now, don't get me wrong. We keep salt, on the table. So that's added to your discretion because everybody's got a different palate. And we went out the other day for our teenager's 15th birthday, and they wanted to go to some restaurant. It was a nice restaurant. They brought the food, and it was just, for me, it was just entirely too salty. I mean, I thought I was going to have a stroke then, but it was just too, and I could taste the difference. I really can. And you mentioned the pink Himalaya salt. When you use it, you really can't taste the salt part. You can taste the flavor being enhanced, but I don't think you can really taste the salt. And so, are you still on that mission for doctors and clinicians and scientists to say, well, Mr. Ferguson, we found the reason when the connection from salt to high blood pressure? Are you still waiting for that? Or you just like, okay, moving on, since if the doctors and the clinicians and the researchers can't get it, you in trouble then. And what are they hiding? Why is it?
But there's some doctors out there that have written some books that have done exactly what I wanted to do. Is they did a deep dive, they did all the major research, and they conclude in agreement with me. So the facts are there. The facts are clear. It's just, I mean, think about it. You were told at one point in your life to watch the salt intake because it may be driving blood pressure. And if it wasn't you heard someone being told that, or someone shared with you what their doctor said. And it's just part of the culture that people think salt causes people to have high blood pressure. So cut back on the salt. The same as you were told don't eat eggs and the yolk because it will cause your cholesterol to go up, right?
That's what they say. Well, I would be in big trouble because I eat eggs every day. That's how I get my protein, most of my protein.
Yeah, but that was pushed for years, over 60 years. And but now it's not. We know the truth now.
So, and do most people who learn the truth, because the things I've learned from, and I continue to learn from you and other people in your field, is that we can take better control of our lives by the choices that we make and what is important to you. And everybody's got a different palate, and our people, during the holidays. Oh my goodness, it just wasn't Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner if it didn't have a bucket of chitlins. Yeah, had 10, 20 pounds, 50 pounds of chitlins. I mean, y'all do know what that is, right? And I had the nerve to ask, where do chitlins come from? And when you should never eat a food that starts with chit. That's just my opinion. And
that's the intestines, right?
The intestines, and it's the big intestine and the small intestine, because they have what I'm gonna say, chitlins and hog maws. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what they say? We eat everything on a pig, but it's squeal. And I'm
Well,
like,
you know, it's interesting when you bring up. So, couple things to know about chitlins and hog mugs.
okay,
Hog mugs are very lean.
mhm,
They're equivalent to like eating chicken breasts,
yes,
right?
and they have that
So,
consistency.
yeah, I mean, they're lean. So if you're gonna beat up on hog mugs, you got to beat up on chicken breasts and turkey breasts and all the other lean options for protein.
You know what? Every time I talk to you, you tell me something, I throw it out the window. I'm like, okay, that's gotta go. Robert said you can eat, you know, what so and such and such. And especially people with diabetes. My husband had said this to me the other day. He said, when you talk to Robert, will y'all talk about diabetes during the holidays? Because a lot of people
Mm,
with diabetes and you know, other chronic conditions, you know, during the holidays, especially when they got high blood pressure, you know, the blood sugars are out of control or whatever the case is. And people forget that during the holidays, I don't know if it's them or what the deal is, but they'll go, oh, it's not going to hurt me for one day. It's not going to hurt me to eat this for one day. I'm only going to do it one time. And then you're laying up on the bed because you can't get that crap through your system. And sometimes I think that's a conspiracy too, because we are built a certain way. We're built a certain way for our
right.
food to be digested and all of this. And then people don't understand how food processes in their bodies. They really don't. And I know that people that during the holidays, they were like, I'm just gonna eat one slab of ribs. I'm like, okay, where did you get that? That was okay. You do know on whatever holiday, you still have type 2 or type 1 or type 3 diabetes. So have you heard
That's
about the
right.
type 3 diabetes? That's a new
Alzheimer's.
thing. So can you explain to those of us like me and other people who really don't understand? Can you kind of walk us through how they got to